Hey everybody, so this is Patty with the Leather Lady LLC, and I was hoping to have one of these a lot sooner, but I didn't. So what I am here to show you a couple of things, and now is the season that people are getting their equipment repaired and getting out on the trails and things like that. So just some tidbits about what to watch for and when you go to somebody to have them fix your equipment. So this here, I wanted to had a client bring in two of them, and of course, if you're a Western person, you know that this is a saddle pad. This is actually a very heavy packed felt pad, which is done in layers, believe it or not. Some of these felt pads are really, really good, and then some of them are made cheaply and not so good for your horse. The reason being is if the company goes and makes the layers and they're not packing them properly, those layers can actually start to bunch up, and then you'll end up with stress points underneath your saddle and an ouchie back on your horse. But this one here has actually come in because we've got some leather issues, and I've had people ask me over and over where they could go to get their leather restitched on here, or even on the sides. So on the sides of these here. So what you can do is one, you could probably almost do it yourself. These are factory stitched. So once they come undone, and this leather part is undone, as you can see closely on this one here, is that if you have somebody that goes and puts these onto a machine. Now I have a machine I could do it on, but the problem is if you look at these holes, they're already pre-made. And we know that as far as horse people, that leather, the holes are already made. So if you have somebody put a machine on that, then what happens is they're not going to be able to match these holes up. And what's going to happen is they're going to strip all the holes and you're just going to have one even line. Sometimes that happens. So these have to be done by hand, no matter what. For us who do leather work and things like that, we have the equipment and the needles to do it, but everything has to be done by hand. So with this one here, it's a very easy fix. I use a very long needle, and I use a polyurethane thread. And the reason why I do that, or sometimes I may use depending on the size and holes, the size of the holes, I may use a leather thread, but I use polyurethane for the couple of reasons. Same with the horse blankets and same with other things, is that the polyurethane thread actually holds up better than a nylon thread. For the fact is, sometimes we get, especially with horse blankets, you get urine on them. The horse's skin is acidic with pH. We don't know, how much acidic is in the skin or pH is in the skin, so it breaks it down. Especially with horse blankets and they're peed on and pooed on, then basically that's the reason why a lot of threads break down. So we want to make sure that when we're using a thread for this type of thing, because we're on the horse's withers most of the time, is going to end up a pretty sweaty. Even with the thickness of this, we want to make sure that the stitching lasts for a long time. So that is about the Western saddle pad as far as repairing any leather portions on a saddle pad. Please make sure that you don't have a machine, put them underneath a machine. You'll end up with stripped holes because, like I said again, the manufacturer's stitching, I can change my stitching length, but I'm going to have to be right on the money for these because they've actually are unrestitched. All right, so there's that. I'm going to talk about a horn repair next. So let me click off and get that saddle going for you.